Hello guys, welcome back to another guide video. Today we will be going over how to use Bloodless Gem. But before we do get into the video, a little disclaimer that I do in all my guides. However you use or put things in your build is fine. I'm just making this for people who want to get started on using Bloodless Gems or are returning to the game and want some information on Bloodless Gems. But yeah, make sure to like the video and subscribe for more of these guides and to know when I post another one. And without further ado, the Bloodless Guide. If you did not know already, Bloodless Gem is a gem that heals you depending on which ability you put it on. Now, I do not know the variation of which it heals you, but in the beginning of Deepwoken, people said that it cuts your damage in half and heals you 50% of the damage that is dealt. Now, depending on what ability it is, it can either heal you for more or for less. What I mean by that is that if an ability is one hit, like if it's like a Grand Javelin or Storm Blades, it'll do that damage, like it'll do 50% of that damage. But if it's a rapid, like rapid punches, that's why I said rapid, I believe it heals you for more, or if it counts each punch as its own individual hit and heals you 50% of that. Because in all honesty, Grand Javelin and rapid punches, if they do the same damage, rapid punches will still heal more at the end of the day. So I do not know if it is on hit heal or if it's even or not. But yeah, without out of the way, like I said, you want to be using this on long duration abilities. The reason why is because it basically heals more than if it was an on-hit ability. You want to make sure you upgrade the mantra that you're using it on, and you want to make sure that it is maxed as well. And for the people who don't like going 100 mantra, this is not for you. But for the people who do, this can actually heal you quite a bit. Now, you want to be careful when you put this gem on other abilities. Like I said previously, it cuts your damage in half, and it's actually noticeable. Now, they don't all have to be long duration abilities. There are some short duration abilities that work perfectly with Bloodless Gem. Some examples being Astral Wind, Shadow Eruption, Fire Blade, Burning Servants. All those abilities are short duration and they do healing. But the reason why they do really good healing is because of the AoE and multi-hit they have. Now, this comes back to the on-hit abilities that I was talking about earlier, that I believe that Bloodless Gem basically scales off of on hit instead of just flat healing. But if you did not know already, Insignia Gem makes it to where the next mantra you cast, within a short time frame of that mantra being casted, is a 50% wind up reduction for the next ability cast. So what that means is that the ability that the gem is on, when you use the next ability, it doesn't matter if that next ability has another gem on it or if it doesn't have a gem at all, that windup will be cut by 50%. If you want to use this gem, you want to use it on abilities that are basically within your combo extender. And what I mean with that is basically moves like Gale Lunge, Heavenly Wind, Shadow Eruption, and basically any mantra moves that you basically kind of don't care about. Like, you can easily use it on something like Flame Blind so that the next ability that you use has a shorter duration when you use it. Shorter wind up, shorter wind up, not duration, guys. A shorter wind up when you use it. Flame Blind, Flame Wisp, Graceful, it works on any ability and it'll make that next ability 50% less wind up. So yeah, you don't want to use this gem on any mantra. You want to make sure you use it on a mantra basically for combos or a mantra that you cast frequently. After you use your ability that has Insignia Gem in it, abilities that are good to use after that are abilities that have a long wind up. For example, I do not know if it works on Oath abilities. I believe it does, but a good combo would be use your Insignia ability. Let's say you have an Insignia Gale Lunge, and after that you can use Sightless Beam on Blind Seer, and I believe that the windup will be cut in half. Other examples, you can use Vision Shaper paired up with that. I haven't went Vision Shaper before, but I believe that their abilities take quite a while to use. Or if it was faster, then it would be more more bearable to use. But basically any move that you need on hand or that you need to be faster, you can even use it. You can even use the 50% reduction on something like Astral Wind that's already fast and make it faster. or you can use it on Heavenly Wind. I'm talking about the Insignia Reduction. You can use that on stuff like Heavenly Wind to make your combos more lightning speed. But yeah, if you're using Insignia Gem, these are the tips that you should use when using it. It's basically a utility gem that you'd use to help your combos more than an active gem that is like Bloodless Gem. So if you did not know already, Blessed Gem basically makes it to where when you use an ability that has the gem on it, its cooldown is cut in half. Now this is very powerful, especially if you're using an ability like Shadowbringer or Astral Wind, or any ability that basically has a long cooldown. This will cut that cooldown in half. You can use it on long cooldown abilities or short cooldown abilities, but the way I usually use Blessed Gem is on modes. And yeah, there's not that much modes within Deepwoken, but yeah, I usually use it on Lightning Cloak. I used to use it on Lightning Cloak. It really is good for, I mean, the previous Lightning Cloak that was nerfed, but on the previous one where it could last forever, it was really good for it to come back up, especially when you need a mid-fight to gain a speed boost. Nowadays, a lot of people actually use Oath abilities, and I do not know the cooldown on these Oath abilities, but they are most likely long. So I believe using Blessed Gem on Oath abilities like Blind Seer, Vision Shaper, all the other Oaths, I really don't know what they do nowadays, but I noticed that the cooldowns are more longer than regular abilities. So maybe using it on those abilities would be more better, because basically everyone's kind of spamming Oath abilities nowadays. Aside from that, still you can use it on anything else. It cuts it right in half. It cuts your cooldown in half, and it's basically good on anything. You just gotta make sure that when you're using it on that ability that it hits, because I believe it only procs when you hit somebody, the half cooldown. But they might have changed it to where it's still just procs straight up without you having to hit anybody with that mantra or ability. If you do not know what Wayward Gem does already, it basically teleports you to your opponent on hit of the mantra that the gem is equipped on. Now this can be used in many ways and on many abilities. Examples being Gaze Wayward, Grand Javelin Wayward, and Astral Wind Wayward. They all do the same thing, but they kind of like depending on the duration of the ability, it kind of teleports you within like different directions. You already know this. Like with Astral Wind, if you hit them up into the air, you get TP'd up into the air. With Grand Javelin, you will not be TP'd on initial hit. You will be TP'd when they're ragdolled. It's kind of a delay with the Wayward. You want to make sure you're using Wayward basically on an ability that's on hit and will not ragdoll somebody, because if you are within the void or anywhere on a cliff, you most likely only want to use Wayward to combo extend. On the other ability, Gaze, it's actually on hit. Like, it's reliably teleports you on hit, but you know, Wayward has a cooldown, so the most reliable abilities that I say use Wayward on, that I use Wayward with, is Heavenly Wind, because when you go up into the air and hit on the ground, it's an AoE effect of damage, so it will be teleported to your target, behind your target. Most of the times it's beside your target, but that depends on how you're angling your camera. You can use it on rapid punches so that you could get back on top of the opponent. I believe after you Wayward with rapid punches, it still puts you within the rapid punches animation. Or you could use it on something like Sightless Beam. I keep stretching out these Oath abilities. I only keep saying Sightless Beam because that's literally like the only Oath ability I know. I myself have not even gotten Sightless Beam yet. I just know that I usually go Blind Seer and Oathless, and I'm just using Blind Seer as a example ability to use, but all the other Oath abilities also work with Wayward Gem. So anything basically that you want to combo extend, you want to put Wayward Gem on, because it will basically make you guaranteed another combo extender when you hit the opponent with your Wayward infused ability. But yeah, you really don't want to use Wayward on abilities that will push you. You don't want to use Wayward on abilities that will basically launch you, or launch your opponent, not you, launch your opponent out of bounds, because it'll launch you out of bounds. You've probably already seen all the videos of people who had Wayward and use Grand Skewer and fall into the void with their opponent without realizing they have Wayward on that ability. So if you did not know what Wind Gem does already, Wind Gem gives you the speed boost of sliding down a slope any slope for 8 seconds when hit on the monster with Wind Gem. Now this can actually be very useful, especially if you're in a gank and you are, you know, trying to run away, or actually, yeah, just try to run away. There's no other reason you'd be using the Wind Gem unless you want to actually be moving faster, you know, lightning speed combos like the other gems. This is an active gem, it's not a passive gem. You won't be passively gaining this movement speed. You'll get it in one go, and the cooldown is 8 seconds, I believe. Yeah, I believe the cooldown is 8 seconds. Might be wrong. The wiki sometimes is iffy on the information that's given. But yeah, you want to make sure you use this Wind Gem on abilities that like Gale Lunge, Lightning Blade, you know, abilities that you can not spam but are on low cooldown, so you can keep getting that speed buff. You don't want to be using it on abilities that have long cooldowns, or else you're going to be waiting for those abilities to be getting speed buffs in case you need to run away. You also want to use it on running away abilities, like I said before, Gale Lunge, Lightning Blade, and things like that. There's not much to Wind Gem. You'll probably figure out which mantra ability you actually want to use it on when you're in game. But yeah, if you guys did find this guide helpful or enjoyed the video, make sure to like and subscribe like I said within the beginning, and make sure to have a nice day, guys, and see you guys within the next video.